We're live. Appreciate that.
All right, we are in budget. Now, we were gonna print a new one, but we were just ready to print, and they are printing checks, and so we can't really print the new one right now. I'll just tell you what the changes are, and then we'll go from there. All right, because we don't have any changes. We did decide to, for all of these things that are unusual, not normal, everyday expenses, that we would do that out of surplus. And so I'm going to put that on that second page where it says transfers in, and if we can't get it changed on our net data, then I'm just going to, after we print this the last time, I'm just going to mark that out and write in there what it is for clarity. So.
On page 2 down at the bottom?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, and what we have in there is the fire truck payment. Oh, I can take that out because I put, let me change that. I put the fire truck payment, the $750, in the 700s, which is the fire departments. I'm going to take that out and put it in this surplus payment of $750,000. Is that what y'all think would be?
Sure help.
And it's not a normal expenditure that we normally have. You know, we do try every year to save a little bit so that when we do have something big, we do have that in surplus that we can handle. Okay, I'm going to take that out of 700. Put it in this surplus. Then the new roofs that we're going to do, those air conditioners, those 2 big air conditioners, the tax office addition, the wiring for the jail, the $150,000 for all the expenses to move all the employees out. I don't know if that will be sufficient by the time we lease or rent or whatever and do all of the, if we have to do a lot of electrical in a building that will service us for that length of time, or if it's just rental, it may not be that much, but.
I don't think we can budget any less.
What did you put it in?
That's going to be all in that thing out of surplus. So that will be the change. All right, so that will be at the bottom, that figure.
And what was the total without the 700? I mean, without the fire truck?
The total, oh, for the rental, all expenses, electrical, whatever,
Yeah,
moving, all that, 150,000.
That ain't here now.
That's what we.
That ain't here now.
All right, well, what do you want in
I
there?
don't know. Move everybody out of this building and get them set up somewhere else? Oh,
And
that's
probably
right.
rental for a year?
Oh,
Well,
that's
year,
right.
Judge, I still don't think years. I know what that paperwork says, but
Well, but we're just budgeting for this year.
Right.
This next year. We may have to budget more for the next year, yeah. And actually, we probably won't get moved. Let's see, September. We won't have a whole year of rental.
true.
And so, but we will bleed into next year. The next
It could be
year, we'll
9 or
budget
10
in
months
for
out.
that. The big part of it will be getting set up and moved in for this first year. Put it right back. We need to efficient. But now, if you think we need more for this first year, considering it will be probably eight, 9 months, something like that. What we're moving expenses to. So what do you want to put in there? I can change it. 250?
That's just with the move, 250.
Well,
And
that's,
the rent.
Well, moving the rent, I understand that.
Yeah.
That's not the
It's gonna
move,
be
they
additional.
jail wire or property.
there's gonna be additional
No.
utilities, there's probably gonna be some type of, expense to get our networks where they were. You know, we looked at a couple of buildings that don't have a Cat 6 wire run throughout, so that's a big upfront expense to have that where our computers will work. There will be some of the systems that may air bridge or whatever they call it from the courthouse to, depending on, say, we can't give anybody a commitment until September
Yeah.
we say 24th.
Something like that,
It's kind of
whenever we
what we should
actually
know.
approve
When we actually see the bids.
when we actually accept the bids, then we'll know.
Put 250 in there now.
Do that. Okay. And we talked about the other changes, thinking about the move and all that's gonna be going on, in the next year, and how close we'll be to the end before y'all had talked about even using the financial software, trying to do anything. We're probably not gonna do it during this next year with all the moving and all of that. So we're gonna take that 50,000 out. Be looking at that for the next year. And added in a 7,500 legal expense in case we do actually go to trial on the groundwater situation, the wells and all of that. They said that would be our fee, 7,500. Senior services, we had always had, I believe, just a part-time person to assist in administration at senior services. And we did, at one time, change that to a full-time position, but we had said when that full-time position, whenever she left, it would go back to part-time. And the person that's in there now has left. And we're gonna go back to part-time in senior services for the assistant.
I think we should.
Sure.
All right?
That's what we'll do.
I know we're always trying to be conservative in the areas that we can, but we already talked about budgeting the 500,000 for the courthouse restoration. Since it's going to be, as the work goes along, they'll give us an invoice. We'll pay it to them, we'll send it to the state, and they then will send us our part of it back
In a timely manner.
in a timely manner. I don't know.
We'll do it. If ain't no faster than FEMA, we're gonna be in trouble.
You know, the thing, what I had thought about, and I was totally wrong the way I was thinking about this, I was thinking about the part that we're going to be paying, which is about $800,000 or so dollars. If they're gonna give us an invoice, and we're gonna pay it, that invoice is gonna be for the total amount of work that they do. And then we'll send it to them, and they'll send us all back, except the part that we owe, the 800,000. I was looking at
12%.
it totally backwards. So we're gonna need to budget a whole lot of money.
So it's 80/20?
We,
88-12.
Okay. 88 foot, okay.
Would the architecture be able to give us a pretty good idea of,
how much, how far we'll get along so we can budget more. Yeah, I was thinking just our part, but no, we're gonna be paying all of it, I believe. We'll verify that, but if they're gonna give us the invoice, we're gonna pay them. Glad we had this little meeting today. Thank y'all.
I'll just take the surplus times about 40% and put it in there?
Yes, because it'll be flowing back and forth.
Right. Almost like we need a revolving line of credit with our surplus. Can we make that motion?
Does that sound?
Is that what you call it, the bottom line of credit with our surplus?
Sorry.
That's what I call it.
We won't really know how much we need until we get our bid in. And then it'll be
And our
too late.
budget will already be adopted.
I think, okay, I think, we were gonna put it in Fund 85, so we had it separate. I think we need to have it in the general fund. That way, we'll keep it in a different department, but that way, we can budget the surplus, and we can transfer as we need to, rather than transferring $3 or $4 million into that fund, and then having to get it back at the end of the year, and all of that. We can think on that, but, yeah, that's what we want to do.
You line item RLC,
Kind of like,
revolving line of credit.
we can set it up. What?
RLC, call it, revolving line of credit.
There you go. I think we probably need to set it up like we did dispatch. No, because that's in a separate special fund. I think we're gonna need to go back just to the 010. We'll work that out. But now the land, the $1 million, that land, for possibly building the jail or whatever, but it's just land to be used. We're gonna start putting some money in there to accumulate for whether it's for the jail or something else that the county determines is needed. Isn't that correct, how you talked about it? You know, some days I think we need a new parking lot pretty bad. That you can't even place anywhere to park. But anyway,
We'll put plenty of parking at that new Justice Center.
that's right. If we put a courtroom down there. That's a long way in the making, so. Anyway, we are trying to be proactive and start designating some funds for what is going to come for the future. All right, now, we did have the increase for the sheriff. He always needs more money. We just increase him, for what you asked for that email. Okay. Basically, everything else is the same, other than what we've talked about on those big items we just talked about.
Did you clarify on the phones and the sensors?
I did. I did. And the thing that we had at the top, let me see if I see. We had county salary supplement, 20,000. and we were paying out of that. But that was certificate pay. So we have that budgeted as certificate pay for next year. We did increase it just a little bit. I don't know if it's enough. You might look at that and see if we budgeted enough for this next year for certificate pay. But then, and then down on cell phone allowance,
What page you gonna do?
I'm on page 29. The cell phone allowance, what are we paying for that cell phone allowance for?
When you pay the cell phone allowance
Yeah.
for, that's for the deputy phones, deputy phones, all,
Okay.
yeah.
The reason I'm asking specifically that, I thought that was, it says cell phone allowance. But we had talked about, I'll need to go back and look at that other sheet. I think we had that in with the, what we budgeted for,
Computers.
SIM cards.
Yes,
SIM cards and
I think
those.
that's what, the way we were talking before, prior to
Yeah.
today, that's what we were talking about, that was gonna be as I told you.
So that's why we increased it $8,000 from last year, probably.
does that cell phone allowance that we have here, does that include those SIM
No,
cards?
because I don't have them yet.
I think I put that under furniture, no, equipment.
How many cards was it? 17 or 20 or?
I think it was 17. Which,
And about how much were those, do you remember? I can go look.
I think we're looking at about 20,000, I think.
You think the cell phones are,
The way we were talking before, I thought I thought you had already combined them, the way we were talking before.
right, I'm just not sure, since it says cell phone allowance, if the SIM cards are in there. I think it is, you're right, because we had budgeted 12,000 for cell phones
Okay.
prior to this.
It's gotta be in because it's only $100 difference,
Yeah,
because it would be 10-2
yeah.
at $50 a month on 17 of them, and we had increased it 10-3. I bet that's those SIM cards.
Okay, so that is in cell phone allowance also.
So it's in for 26 at 20,300.
What's that?
It's in for 26 at 20,300.
Yeah,
Increase
Right.
from 12.
Exactly.
but it's confusing because it just says cell phone allowance and it doesn't say the other. I'll check that again just to be sure, but I think that's correct. That's in there, that 8. Okay. Page 46.
I'll have 46.
Senior services.
We're getting this is 11.5, so that would make this 13. So we're getting closer to getting it balanced. But as far as just those things, but I don't know for sure until it's still pretty far out. But we can do it through that service. When they finish the payroll, we'll be able to print it and see actually. So we can take a recess until later in the day, or I can print them, and you can come back by and pick them up. Let's see. I guess our next meeting will be next week. Do you think we need to have another meeting before next Wednesday? So and everybody look at what we're gonna get a printout, and that will be the up-to-date, so then everybody will look at their own little schedule, of your own sheet, be sure that, it changed. Is that agreeable if we have another meeting next Monday, and then we'll be here and we'll all finalize?
Like should.
At least this is short, okay. Not getting around very good, Sheriff.
No.
You're not that old, come on.
It's all this talk, it's killing my body. No.
All right, anything else? If not, we have a motion to adjourn. Or do you have something else?
Andy usually does that.
I'm looking at my budget.
Before next Monday, we need to firm y'all up. And we wait usually until as close as we can to figure what the carryover is.
Are we supposed to, according to the newspaper today, are we supposed, is this the hearing right now? Next week, okay.
On the 20th.
Okay. I'll make a motion. We second.
Before we do that, did you want to talk about your request,
Oh, yeah, that's up here.
Teresa? I couldn't see it, I didn't realize you were still there.
Oh, request, I just requested a raise for my employees, that's all. I think you got my letter. No, I have an employee that wrote a letter also, I would like to consider.
And I did supply some information behind that letter too about living wage calculations in other surrounding counties that, where they're sitting at compared to Freestone County.
We'll review that.
Yeah, so I just paired it with that letter so y'all can review
Yeah.
it.
Well, wait, did I have, you have that?
Yeah, you should.
Attached to-
I left a copy of the
Oh,
pay
yeah.
scales
Yeah.
for base salaries to look at, and then Lloyd had requested an accrual of interest of what we've made.
Oh, okay, I just saw this. Pay scale I have. Okay, we'll review that for next time. Anything else?
The only thing that I needed to discuss on mine was, it's tied to the budget. It doesn't have anything to do with the budget, but it's a grant program that the state approved through House Bill 3000, which grants counties in rural areas that allows them to apply for funds. So the purchase of new ambulances could be made by the services inside that county. It's tied to the first date of your fiscal year. You have 30 days to apply for the grant through this Texas Comptroller. I haven't seen an application process yet, but the bill is written. And I think the comptroller is going to control the way the application part of that. The only caveat to that is that you only have 30 days from the first fiscal year date on your budget to apply. So starting October 1, you got 30 days counting down.
Will we do that?
It's the county.
The county has to.
But
apply.
you will help us with that.
Yes, ma'am.
And what's that date?
Yes, ma'am. And
Now, is there a match?
there's no match.
No match, okay.
So what it says in there is for rural counties, the first one is for 10,000, population of 10,000 or under.
That's what I looked at.
Can qualify for 500,000. Population between 10,000 and 68,000 can get 350,000. And it's a one-time application. If you get approved for it, it's a one-time give, and then you can't apply for it again. So,
Well, we surely will.
yeah, there's no matching fund, not that I've seen, there's no matching funds. It's just a grant to help rural ambulance services with transportation. It has a little bit to do with mileage and distance away from level 1 trauma facilities and stuff like that. So, just to have on y'all's radar, because the county has to submit it to the application.
But I know you'll be calling us at the time. I hope, like the first day it's open, that we can do
Yes.
it. So, perfect. Have a motion and a second.
I have one more thing. On page 29, it doesn't look like the certificate pay got updated for the 3 open positions.
On page what? 29?
29,
What is that?
unless I have the wrong copy. For certificate pay,
Certificate pay, it was budgeted as county salary last year, county supplement. And this time it moved down to 109 certificate pay.
so on our salary sheet, we have currently 22,800, but we need to account for those other positions. They're hired in.
Well, that's what I said to the sheriff earlier. We may need a different number if you'll look at your.
She should have it, I gave her a piece of paper.
So with those 3 open positions, we should sit at 30,000 instead of what current 22,800.
Okay, we're getting 3 new people and it's gonna cost 8,000 for certificate pay.
Well, we don't know what they're gonna hire in at either, if they're gonna have different license, right?
Depending on their license.
Depending on their license, they could have basic, intermediate, advanced, or a master.
How much is that per month if they have all of it?
Well, if it's a master's, it's 2,400.
Yeah, the highest level is 2,400.
Per
So,
year.
2,400 per year?
Per year.
Per year, yes.
Yes,
Paid out monthly.
paid out, pay period, yeah.
So you're getting 3 employees, possibly?
Possibly.
Yeah, I'm gonna, yes, yes.
But we don't know if they're gonna-
We need to change that to about 30. Thank you.
Yes.
Yes, that'd cover it in case they're,
All right, will you change that?
It'd
All
be
right.
$7,000.
Does that go on to
62.
payroll and they pay
If they send it to our doctor.
retirement and all that stuff on that certificate pay?
It's broken up on its own line item, so it's based out of a pay period, so it's already broken up as,
I know, but is that subject to
I
don't
think
payroll
so.
taxes and retirement and all that?
Insured.
Well, no, we already have.
Oh, you don't get insured.
I'll have to look to
Okay.
see what the other ones look like.
Okay, because usually if it's up above the FICA line, it's taxable for payroll taxes and retirement. If you look at that form, when you change that on your pay sheet. Okay, what else? We already have a motion and a second to adjourn. Okay.